this night playing out the way that you thought it would?
Well, now we got to get Book. We got to get him to Phoenix. You got Dakari, Andrew, Aaron. We got the other three. We got to get them picked. But it's been a big day. It's been our season will officially end tonight with 7 of these guys.
It's so impressive year after year. And I did hear you say that this night and getting your players drafted is more important to you than winning a national championship. I'm finding it hard to believe.
I never said that.
All right, what's the
matter?
Okay.
And we want to win, but not at the expense of these kids.
Seriously.
I want them to benefit more than the program. That's how I want this to be. So when the season's over, you say, they got more out of this than we did, or I did, or the program did. But if anybody questions me and results, please say it publicly. Final Fours, wins, all the stuff we do, but it's not about that. It's about these kids.
I believe you. As a collegiate athlete, I would give anything for an NCAA championship, so I did find that hard to believe. Coach, thanks so much. Respect to you.
All right, Heather, John, there is Devin Booker giving a little clap in celebration when his buddy Trey Lyles is selected. You heard Calipari mention he's here with 7 guys. If all 7 wind up getting drafted, that would be a record for one school from a single draft. I think there's some questions about whether both Harrison twins or either Harrison twins will be drafted as we get into the second round, but we'll wait and see how that works out. Andy Katz joins us now, so we have 2 more picks left in the lottery. Andy, right now, what are you hearing?
Well, for those that are wondering why the Utah Jazz selected Trey Lyles, we heard from the desk how they needed a shooter like Devin Booker. The Jazz told me that they see Lyles as a mobile 4-man who they can turn into a stretch 4, and that's why they drafted him.
All right, Andy, so what do you think? Do you see that in Trey Lyles' future?
Yeah, he's got that ability, but he's going to have to improve his range. He did not shoot the 3 very well, but he shoots a good ball. He's big and strong. You know, Jalen mentioned it. He's not a great defender. He's not explosive as an athlete. And at the 4 position, you know, there are a lot of explosive 4-men. Yeah. So that's going to be an issue. But Trey Lyles is a terrific prospect, but he's more of a skilled mid-range shooter. I've seen him as a 4 all along. I don't think he's a 3.
I think about the front line for Utah now between him, Derek Favors, and Rudy Gobert. I mean, I think he provides the versatility to guard the 4. I think he can guard 3s as well. And that only adds to the strength of their front line.
He shot 14% on 3s and 37% outside of the paint. So they got a lot of work to do if they're going to turn him into a stretch 4.
All right, so in the last half minute of Phoenix's time to select, they have the 13th overall pick. The Suns had a lot of close losses over the course of this season, 18 of them by 5 points or fewer, and they're tied for the most in the NBA. They traded Goran Dragic to the Heat in February. They traded Isaiah Thomas to the Celtics. They ended up missing the playoffs for the 5th straight season, yet still finished just 4 games under 500 under head coach Jeff Hornacek. And now Phoenix's time has hit 0, and they're about to make their pick. What do you think the Suns should do with this pick?
Combination wings, go Booker here. Knock down, streaky shooter if you're the Phoenix Suns.
Especially with that 2-guard lineup that Jeff Hornacek likes to play. You talk about him playing Eric Bledsoe and Brandon Knight together. That gives a release for them to knock down a 3-point shot.
Booker's the best player available. And if you're going to go with that theory of taking the best player available, you go with Booker.
So Trey Lyles from Kentucky was just selected. Devin Booker of Kentucky, they believe that is the best available player. Will Booker finally hear his name called? Some believe that he would go in the top 5 or 6. Adam Silver about to let us know what the Suns have decided to do.
With the 13th pick in the 2015 NBA Draft, the Phoenix Suns select Devin Booker from the University of Kentucky.
So Booker is headed to the Valley of the Sun, and now 4 Kentucky Wildcats have been picked in the lottery. That ties the record for most lottery selections from one school in a single draft. North Carolina also had 4 players that were lottery picks back in the 2005 draft. And Devin Booker, second best among major conference freshmen in 3-point shooting, a little bit better than 41%.
Devin Booker can really shoot the ball, but he's more than that. Like, he's a terrific athlete that can put the ball in the deck. He didn't have to show that much in Kentucky. He was more of a catch-and-shoot wing shooter, but he's got a tight stroke. He's a way better athlete than people think. He had the best lane agility times at the NBA Combine. And Jalen mentioned it the other night. He really is a young Klay Thompson because he's strong, he can guard. You compare those two as freshmen, Booker's numbers are just a little bit better, and I think he's a better defender as a freshman than Thompson was. Now, Thompson obviously has turned into an all-star and a great NBA player, but I think Booker's got that in his future. Terrific range. That stroke, he's got a high release point, so he can catch and shoot, and he gets it off quickly, but he can also come off screens. He handles the ball well. I think he can deck it and get to the rim, and he can finish. His frame is big and strong. You know, his dad was Melvin Booker, played in Missouri. He's all Big 8, so he comes from really good bloodlines. Never changed his expression. It doesn't bother him to defend. I think he's a very good defensive player. I think he's got a complete game, and he's got more game than he's able to show at Kentucky. And that's probably true of a number of Kentucky players.
Ding, 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 ding. You guessed it. Klay Thompson. You're exactly right, Jay. Streaky shooter. Through January, he was shooting actually 51% from three. February on, 30%. So you're going to need the consistency. But again, a really good athlete, can handle the basketball. He's going to fit right in the Valley of the Sun.
Devin Booker has his name called, and as I mentioned a moment ago, these Kentucky Wildcats, they didn't cut down the nets, win the national championship as they'd hoped, but they're winning the lottery so far, Jay Will, for sure.
They are, most definitely. And this team shot 21% from the three-point line, so he feels that void.
I love Coach Cal. He's the Teflon Don. And by the way, he's the first guy to own that I want to see these guys go to the NBA and be successful. And he's here in the draft room. Where the other coaches at? Is he the only coach here?
Some of them will be around. All right, Shannon's with Devin Booker now.
And it's going to be a big blue nation, a big blue nation in Phoenix with Eric Bledsoe and Brandon Knight, of course, now Devin Booker. What do you think about that trio out there?
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Big blue nation everywhere. I wouldn't want it any other way.
You know, you told me shooters never stop shooting earlier this season. We know you can shoot. We know what you can do from the perimeter. What else can you do? What else are you willing to show us in the game?
I feel like in Kentucky, you know, we had a really talented team, and, you know, I fit in really well with the team. I found my niche. So on the next level, I know I'm going to have to create more for myself. And, you know, I think I'm already surprising people a little bit at athleticism. So I guess we'll just stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Congratulations, Evan. Reese?
All right, Shannon. Devin Booker spent some time with his dad when he played in Italy, so he's grown up around the game at the professional level, and he is becoming a pro himself tonight on what has been a big night for Big Blue. 4 players selected in the lottery. Oklahoma City's on the clock.